What is going on? Welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new, please subscribe, like the video if you enjoy. Today, by far the most talked about topic this week, and a very, I'd say, controversial thing to talk about is Chris Tyson. Now, if you don't know, Chris Tyson is a member of Mr. Beast squad, has been since the really old days. And, I'm all for, enjoying a creator and an influencer for, what entertainment they bring. But when fans start getting way too attached to creators' personal lives, that is what really weirds me the fuck out. And that is what we're going to be talking today, because Mr. Beast fans and actually just people in general on Twitter have been noticing a change in Chris throughout recent Mr. Beast videos. A lot of this controversy started from this tweet where a Twitter user tweeted out, "Bro, what the fuck happened?" with a picture of Chris on the left and then the most recent image of Chris on the right, in which Chris responded, "HRT, and it's only been 2 months," which is the first time Chris has confirmed doing HRT. Now, if you don't know what HRT stands for, it stands for hormone replacement therapy. So Chris is on HRT because Chris is transitioning. Now, before we get on to anything else, you might be wondering, well, what does Chris identify now? Underneath a tweet where Chris said it's never too late to start being yourself, someone replied, "I'm confused as to what you identify as, but you do you, brother/sister." Chris responded, "I purposely have not come out as any identity. I just disclosed I was on hormones. I'm going to talk more in the future, but for right now, any video claiming I identify as X is just speculation." Now, this shit kind of blows my mind a bit, is how much actual hatred Chris got for coming out and saying he was on HRT and is transitioning. I'm honestly blown away that people give such a fuck. Let's have a look, because I'm not bullshitting you. Chris Tyson of the Mr. Beast show before and after HRT. What makes a man do this to himself? Rest in peace, Chris Tyson, gone but never forgotten, acting as if he's actually dead. YouTuber Chris Tyson went from masculine family man with a 2-year-old son to transgender and pumped full of estrogen hormones all in the space of a few months. Chris from YouTube's biggest channel, Mr. Beast, decided to begin transitioning 2 months ago and start HRT hormones. In the comment, this poor wife and kid. So heartbreaking for them. You're gonna see a lot of this. Apparently, taking HRT and transitioning automatically makes you a bad parent and, to some people, a danger to children. Chris publicly talked about his divorce the 28th of March, saying, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated." So already they've been separated for a year. "We are finalizing things soon, but these things take time. We'd like to keep our personal lives private," which a lot of people don't understand because we share so much, "but this is the only time I want to discuss it." Couples go through divorces all the time. People being like, "Oh, how could he do this to the wife?" You don't know what the fuck was going on in their personal life before anyway, and being so upset for the wife and kids, you really don't give a fuck about them. And this Twitter user put it very well: "As long as this gentleman isn't forcing his identity down my throat, I'm happy for him, her/they. Adults can do what they want in their bodies and lives. Freedom is great." Thank you. Someone with sense. If someone is doing something with their own body that only affects them, that is completely their right. And if that is how they feel and it will improve their life, then fair fucking play. Again, your responsibility is to your wife and child, not selfishly indulging in a trend that actively harms people. Grow up. Kick out Chris Tyson or have unsubscribed you. I can't believe Chris Tyson, the guy who usually collaborates with Mr. Beast, is a transgender. Isn't he married and has a kid? This is sad. You know what's funny is people using like the wife and kid excuse. I guarantee if Chris was just single, didn't have a wife, didn't have a kid, and still did the same thing, these people would still have a fucking problem with it. Chris Tyson should be kicked out of the Mr. Beast crew. People also, quote retweeting a picture of Chris with his child saying, "Another poor brainwashed child growing up in a messed up environment. Stay away from that boy, you freak." Chris has responded to these, claims he's going to be a bad parent, which he doesn't even really need to, because it's just people being absolute idiots. This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folk aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate. It's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. Responding to a tweet that said, "There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, weak man times. Chris also said, I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. I just don't understand that correlation. There's so many families where people have either grown up without a dad or parents that just haven't been anywhere. This kid has 2 parents who love him and care for him. Someone made a great point saying, people saying they feel bad for Chris Tyson's wife and kids is so weird. I knew a former partner was trans well before anyone else did. It's telling on yourself and bizarre you'll think Chris's wife found out when you did. That is such a great point because people are acting like Chris's wife has just been blindsided by it. He just came out on Twitter, didn't tell her anything. They've been separated for over a year. I'm sure Chris said something to his wife and she knew already way before you guys did. People having the craziest reactions as if they're married to Chris. On the alt account, Chris seems happy to have been outspoken about it, saying, I'm genuinely so glad so many people are learning what HRT is and how it can and has helped so many people because of my tweet. I was super nervous to be public about this because I've always been so private when it comes to this, but seeing conversations start because of me is amazing. Another tweet he put out the other day, people were like trying to say Chris is now gay or something. Chris said, I was reading my Instagram comments and unless I missed something new in my own life, I'm 99.9% sure I still like both genders. I'll see you next time I come out as bi for the 483,905th time. Don't understand people telling others what to do with their lives and their body. It's obviously people with their own agendas trying to make people feel a certain way. They don't give a shit about Chris's family. They don't give a shit about Chris's kid, the wife. I think some people are a bit taken back by Chris because he used to be a pretty edgy guy. Like videos like this.
Alright, time to see if they've updated the gender list. They have 63 genders up there, but they can't have my gender? Bro, what are you doing? Bro? Did you just assume my gender?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to misgender you.
You're such a helophobe. Get out!
I sexually identify as an attack helicopter. Ever since I was a boy, I dreamed of soaring over the oil fields, dropping hot, sticky loads on disgusting foreigners. People say to me that a person being a helicopter is impossible. I'm having a plastic surgeon install rotary blades, 30mm cannons, and AMG 114 Hellfire missiles on my body. From now on, I want you guys to call me Apache and respect my right.
And someone, people have been digging up loads of his old tweets. I'll show the tweet talking about it, but I'm not going to show him because I genuinely probably couldn't put him in this video. And there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, being shocked by it. Like, Chris came out, you might be a bit shocked, like, wow, I didn't expect that. But most people get over it and think, well, it's their life. They're doing what makes them happy for themselves. That's fine. I just can't wrap my head around people telling Chris what to do with Chris's body. Like, in no way, shape, or form does that affect you. Leave a like if you're not one of these weird Twitter users going crazy about it and you genuinely just think, who cares, as long as they're happy. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Leave a comment. Honestly, I wouldn't even have talked about this if it wasn't for the insane reaction online about it. So, until next time, fuck off.